Hey guys, I'm finally back with more videos after I was gone for like 2 months. Look at my vanity, everything is so dirty, so messy. So the purpose of today's video is going to be like a little get ready with me slash catch up on me slash like chit chat with you guys, updating you guys on my life. I think I took like 2 months off posting like regularly, and that's because a lot happened. I went to Mexico, I went to my parents' house, my sisters had their quinceanera, and there's just so much to talk about. And yeah, so we're gonna pretend like we're on FaceTime and you're gonna listen to me talk about everything that happened because I have a lot to get off my chest, and we're gonna get ready while I'm doing that. So also I can't really multitask, so we're gonna try to get ready. I seriously don't even know where to start, but I'm just gonna start wherever I think I should start. So I did make a video a little bit ago. I posted it like yesterday about my advanced parole experience, and I never really thought that I would be too open about this, but I do have DACA. So I applied for advanced parole to leave the United States and, you know, return lawfully, and that got approved. So I went to Mexico, like I mentioned, and I have to give you guys a little bit more of a backstory so you guys can kind of understand the timeline. I'm originally from Utah. That's where my parents live, but I moved to New York with my boyfriend like a couple months ago. So that's where I live now. In order for us to go to Mexico, because I was planning to go with my brothers, the closest international airport to Utah is Las Vegas. So I made plans with my brothers to go to Mexico, and we were going to fly there together because, again, it's my first time going to Mexico. Well, going back to Mexico. And I didn't want to go alone. I didn't want to fly alone because I have social anxiety and I will get lost. So I ended up flying to Las Vegas, Nevada, and that's where my two brothers, my older brother and my younger brother, that's where they met me. They picked me up from the airport in Vegas, and then we stayed at my brother's friend's house because our flight to Mexico was the next day. I left New York at I left New York on July 30th, kind of like at night. I got to Vegas that same day, and then we left to Mexico on July 31st. And then just so you know, like, Vegas and Utah, where my parents live, they're fairly close, so it's only like an hour-and-a-half drive. It's not that far. I go to Mexico with my siblings. You know, everything was great. I love Mexico. It was nerve-wracking for me because this was my first time meeting my family, and, you know, meeting like where I was born, where my parents grew up and stuff. So it was like bittersweet. But there was quite a lot of family drama, I'm not gonna lie. Most of my family is grown, as in like my cousins are already married. You know, they have kids. Some of my cousins' kids have kids, so it's like we're not like super tight like this. I had some issues with my dad's side of my family. Well, not me personally. My dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family, they're always arguing, like they dislike each other. So it was really hard, you know, trying not to be in the middle of their problems because it has nothing to do with me or my little brother. But, I'm gonna tell you guys the story right now because it's going to come into play a little bit once I explain some other things. Every time someone would come to the US from Mexico, I swear everyone would always be like, be careful, she might have piojos. You know, they start talking about piojos. So mind you, when I went to Mexico, we stayed at my cousin's house. She had just bought this new house, and they bought us new mattresses, new bedding, new pillows, new everything. So I wasn't like worried about piojos because everything was like new. And that's where we stayed, but we would usually stay at her house, and then the following morning my tia's ex-husband would come pick us up, and he would take us to my tia's house, which was next to my other tia and my grandma's house. So we really just slept at my cousin's house, but we'd wake up so early that we'd be super tired. She would offer me and my little brother to go sleep in their room upstairs, and, you know, being tired, of course we said yes. And this whole time, like, I always kept that thing in the back of my head, like, lice, like head lice, head lice. Getting lice is one of my biggest fears, so I was super scared, okay? And I'm not trying to like be judgmental or anything, I'm just explaining what the environment was like in their room. As you know, like Mexico, the houses are very different. Those specific family members don't have a lot of money, so they didn't have like nice everything like my cousin did with her new house. And so obviously it was quite dirty and cluttered and all that stuff, but I didn't want to like, no les quería hacer el feo, because, you know, I understand like my parents' house be the same way sometimes. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna take a nap on my tia's bed. She shared a bed with her daughter and her nieta, so my little cousin. Anyways, I would lay on the pillow, but I would put like my hoodie on. And mind you, I have really long hair, so I'd put my hoodie on, but my hair would still stick out. I don't know why I wasn't thinking straight, but basically I was just trying to protect like my scalp from anything that could be on there. So that's what I was doing. So I guess what I was doing, you know, putting my hoodie on made me feel better about like staying away from creepy crawlers. And then another thing that I do want to mention, because it's going to come in play also, is that for the past like year or two, I've always struggled with my hair. So my hair, like the back of my hair, and I'm going to show you guys, to be careful because my cat's here. Like right here, this specific part of my hair, I don't know why, every time I showered, it would always feel like I have buildup in my hair. So no matter how many times I rinsed my hair, it felt so sticky, so waxy, and it just felt like I never rinsed my hair out. And I swear I've tried so many things, so many like home remedies to get rid of it. I started using like a cleansing shampoo that a lot of people recommended, and it did work for like a little bit, but then it went back to normal. And I even tried switching my shampoo. You know, I tried doing sulfate-free shampoo, and it just got really, really difficult because I could not figure out what was wrong with my hair. So I finally started using the shampoo, and surprisingly enough, it was a shampoo from Walmart, and probably not the best recommended shampoo, but it wasn't giving me that weird feeling in my hair. So I made sure that I bought some of that so I can take to Mexico and use it there. Not that I'm like delicada, but like my hair is delicada to like products. And when I was in Mexico, since my tia didn't drive, we didn't drive obviously, and our stuff was always at a different house, and we didn't always have a ride to go back to that house. A lot of the times our stuff would get stuck in that house and we couldn't go back to get it. And I didn't want to be stinky or anything, so I obviously had to shower and use whatever my tia had, you know, shampoo wise. And she had this Palmolive shampoo that I used, and needless to say, like, yes, it did screw me up pretty bad. My hair turned out super sticky and I felt so gross because I couldn't, like, you know, take care of it when I was in Mexico. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to deal with it. Also, this thing broke. I don't know. I dropped it and it broke. I stayed in Mexico for 2 weeks. I come back, and the reason I came back to Utah with my parents is because my sister's quinceanera was going to be in like 4 weeks. And I was just like, you know, tickets are way too expensive for me to fly back to New York and then come back again. So I just decided to stay with my parents. And I'm so happy I did. I was able to be part of my sister's quince planning and just very supportive towards them, because that's a whole nother story. That shit was like, that quince planning was completely brutal. We should have literally been in like a reality TV show, because I swear things just kept going wrong. Things just kept going wrong. So when I landed in Vegas, which was August 17th, my sisters were actually in Vegas as well because they were going to buy their quinceanera dress. So My dad goes and picks me and my brothers up, and then I meet up with my sisters at whatever store that they were at the moment. And you know, they get their dress. Everything is nice. Everything's working out really good. Everything is normal. So you know, when I go back to Utah, I start noticing that I have so much dandruff, and my hair was like not going back to normal. My hair kept getting really sticky and gross. And my sister, she even bought a shampoo because she also noticed that her hair was like, she was getting so much more dandruff than usual. So she buys a shampoo and she uses it, you know, and you know, she goes, Lily, I think I'm getting an allergic reaction because I bought this shampoo and my hair is very itchy. And then I look at her scalp and her scalp is like super red and just all this stuff. So I'm like, I think you are getting an allergic reaction, girl. So she stopped using that shampoo. There's this one day where I was in the bathroom washing my hands, and I look, you know, I'm washing my hands and I look up to the mirror and I noticed there was a bug in my hair moving. And just so you guys know, like, I am super sensitive to bugs. I hate bugs, and my immediate reaction was to just like flick it off my hair, like get it out of me. So I did. I flicked it off my hair, but then I lost it. Like, I don't know where it went. And I started freaking out because as soon as I flicked it off, I got a closer look at my scalp and I saw that I had a lot of dandruff. Guys, I don't know what the difference is between lice and dandruff because I've never had lice, okay? And no one in my family has ever had lice except my parents, but that was when they were in Mexico. So I flick it off, and then I saw that I had dandruff, and I was like, wait, what if this is lice? Like, I just had a bug in my hair. So I start freaking out because remember, getting lice is one of my biggest fears. And then I started crying, so I went to my mom's room like a little baby, me as a 22-year-old baby. I went crying to my mom, and then I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I think I have lice. And you know, she's like, don't freak out, like, let me check you right now. Girl checks me in a really dark room with poor lighting, and she's like blind, like, not to be rude, but she doesn't really have good vision. And she's like, no, you're good, like, I don't see anything, like, I just see dandruff. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm scared, like, this is my biggest fear. I don't want lice, you know? I was so scared. She's like, yeah, like, I don't see anything, like, I do see, like, you have dandruff, but I don't see any lice. Well, lice is hard to see, first of all. Lice is very hard to see. They're super small. I try not to freak out about it because I was like, you know what, maybe I just had a bug in my hair, and maybe this is dandruff because I have always struggled with dandruff, especially in the back here. So at the time it made sense to me that maybe I was just like traumatized and really scared. So I decided to let it go. I was like, you know what, maybe she's right. I'm just super traumatized about it. I let it go, you know, the whole quince planning continues. Shit was, sorry, I don't mean to swear, but it was so bad. Like, oh, I love my sisters, and I regret so much listening to other people and relying on other people because everything was just a mess. Like, their quince was beautiful, but everything was also just a mess. Let's continue on with the story. So we are like 3 days before the quinceañera. And my boyfriend flew in from New York to Utah because, you know, he was going to be here for the quinceañera. Too much blush. Oops. Part of like the whole scandalous, part of the crazy quinceañera planning was that the lady that was organizing the event for us, she told us that she didn't have any centerpieces. She literally told us that 3 days before the party. And we were like freaking out because we're like, where are we going to get centerpieces 3 days before the party? Like, no one can order off Shein anymore. No one can really order off Amazon because that's just gonna get here too last minute. And yeah, we were out of time. So you know, my boyfriend came and he was helping us with that. And I remember when we went to, while we were at Dollar Tree, guys, that's a lot of blush. We went to Dollar Tree to look for like anything that we could use for our centerpieces. And my sister texts me when I was at Dollar Tree, and she's like, Lily, I have bad news when you get home. And I was like, I wonder what kind of bad news she has. Like, maybe something to do with her quinceañera, because this lady is driving us crazy. The event lady. So I get home, you know, my mom pulls me into her room. It was my mom, my dad, and one of my little sisters, because I have twin sisters, so it was a twin quinceañera. One of my little sisters was in there, and she was crying. And then my mom, you know, starts telling me, like, you have lice, you know. I brought lice to the house because I guess my little sister had just showered and she was going to do her hair. So she grabbed like a little fine tooth comb, and she, I guess, brushed her hair out, and just so happened to get a bug in it. A bug caught in the brush, and she actually kept it. She went and showed my mom, and that indeed was freaking lice. And then she started crying, you know. And when she told me that, I was like, there's no way that I don't have lice. Like, if they have lice, it's more than likely because of me, because, you know, I went to Mexico and all this stuff. And then I started crying. I was like, oh my god, like, I'm so sorry. Like, your quinceañera is literally in 2 days. What is the hairstylist lady going to say when she sees your hair? You know, I didn't know how bad it was. So I go to the bathroom and I look in the mirror. And sure enough, like, I do see I have a lot of dandruff. But that's not dandruff. Those are freaking eggs. And I didn't know that because I've never had lice. And I couldn't tell the difference between dandruff and lice. So yes, guys, I got freaking lice in Mexico. Oh my god. And what made it worse is that during this time, we had guests over at the house. We had my friend and her mom who had brought me like a drink from Swig, if you know, you know. And they brought my mom like Dutch Bros, and you know, they were there. They were actually the people who paid for the hair and makeup. And you know, they were waiting for me in the living room because my friend wanted to say hi. But I'm over here bawling my eyes out in the bathroom because I just found out that I have lice. So they were there, and then my sister's madrina de honor, she also showed up to drop off like some last minute jewelry for my sisters to wear. And my mom freaking tells him that I was showering when I really wasn't showering. I was freaking crying. So then I told my mom, like, can you call Kevin, my boyfriend? So Kevin comes to the bathroom, and I tell him, I'm like, I think I have lice. No, I tell him, I'm like, I have lice. My sister has lice, you know, basically catch him up on what happened within those like 10 minutes. And you know, my boyfriend is, you know, guys are guys. He was just like, oh well, like, all we can do right now is, you know, treat it. So we'll go to Walmart and we'll get something, you know, for you to start treating the lice. And then I was like, I still cried, and my friend was still waiting for me, and I didn't want to tell him like, hey, I have lice. Why would I want to tell him that? So my mom tells me, she's like, I told him you were showering, like, put a towel over your head and come say hi. So I put on my dry freaking towel over my head. I go say hi, pretending like, hey, I just showered, you know. That's why I didn't come out. And, you know, I say hi to them, whatever. And I was like, everything was happening too quick, because when I went to go say hi, I was supposed to be at this other lady's house with my sister's dresses because she was going to alter them. So I'm like, I gotta go. Like, I don't want to be rude, but like, you know. All of this was happening while I was processing the fact that I have lice, and I gave my sister's lice, and their quinceañera is in 2 days. It's my boyfriend's heart. He went and bought me and my sister, and he buys mata piojo. When we come home, he puts that in our hair. We stayed up until 3 in the morning putting that liquid in our hair and brushing it out. You know, my sister ended up being understanding that it wasn't my intention. Like, I didn't purposely bring them lice. I didn't know that I had lice. My freaking biggest fear came true. So, you know, the quince was actually a week ago, so just last week. And I'm already home. I left, I think, like 4 days after the quinceañera. I came back home to New York, so I have been gone for about almost 2 months. That is why my house is a mess. That is why I haven't posted. That is why all my makeup is literally in bags. Literally in bags, because I have just been traveling and living out of a suitcase for the past month and a half. So guys, thanks for listening. If you stuck with me till the very end of this video, that was a lot to get off my chest. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me know if there's any videos you want to see in specific. I will be uploading like 3 times this week.